Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we are covering Star-Saber. Here he is in all of his glory. He is of course, one half of the two robots that you get with the Victory Saber Haslab combo. I have Victory Leo over here, which we will talk in depth with in another video, but here they are side by side. Pretty nice little guys. Victory Leo is decently tall compared to Saber. Let's do a frontal comparison. Yeah. Alright. I got Saber holding the sword, taking full advantage of his... Now, find a good place to stand, Leo. Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Cool. Let me move my hand around and make sure you're stable. Nice. Alright. I have him in his double-handing the sword, kind of attack pose. Bent forwards on his joint, his ab crunch. So we're going to go ahead and talk about him today. And next time we'll talk about Victory Leo in his robot mode. And we'll just knock these guys out of the park as we go. And hopefully I can get all these done within the week. You know how I do these in-depth reviews, so I do try to cover each mode independently of other modes, so that the person watching can get a good understanding of what's going on. So let's get right into this and talk about Victory Saber, the accessories first. So we'll talk about all the accessories, and then we'll just move into the robot stuff. So let's go ahead and pull out his sword. Go ahead and move your joints back together. Here you go. Hey man, collapse your arms. Collapse your arms. There you go. There you go. Collapse and collapse. There we are. Gotta love those butterfly joints. I think that's really cool. Never had butterfly joints in a Transformer before, at least not intentional butterflies. Let's go ahead and bring up that ab crunch. Come on, ab crunch, go! There it goes. Yeah. That ab crunch can be a little weird, but it's pretty cool. There we go. Move that forward, like so. Excellent. Alright. So let's talk the crazy epic sword first. Now the sword for Victory, for the Star-Saber, the sword that comes with it, is actually the nose of the jet mode for Saber, his little jet mode. And on the end of it, it's got this little rectangular section, that, pull that apart, is where the sword would go. Now, if you watched my opening video, like where I first opened the package and had my first thoughts on things, I was very confused by the sword, and I couldn't find the hilt. I had to be told by a friend that the nose of the jet is the hilt, and that one was a surprise to me. Like, oh wow, I didn't know that. I came into this entire set blind, having no idea what any of it was, but I knew one thing. I knew that if there was a Victory Saber, it was going to be my only opportunity to ever get one, and that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and got it. I looked up the previous Victory Saber stuff and noticed, like, oh crap, I'll never have that much money. So it was good to get this guy. I considered him pretty cheap for the fact that it's a Victory Saber. And this one's Star-Saber, of course. But that's the sword. The sword's pretty nice. It's got a really nice blade to it. I have no idea if it's supposed to be clear or not. I have a feeling that it's a clear blade. I just feel that it's lightsaber-like. Or, laser sword. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Perfect. And you can put it in the nose cone of the jet, and you feel like nose cone bits here and there. And it's pretty fat nose cone, actually. It was a bit thicker than I thought it would be. It's about my pinky nails worth of thickness on the nose cone, because the blade actually goes under the tip of the nose. But so you can have him holding the blade, or you can put the blade here on his hip. And remember, I think it was the Blitzwing video I was talking about how Blitzwing came with a sword, but they didn't give me any... they didn't give you a place on his hip to put the sword, so you could just, walk around with a sword on his hip. And how I was getting annoyed that nobody ever put any swords on hips in Transformers, and it was a little annoying, and it just didn't feel right. Tain't right, as they would say in Goblin Hunter. But no, this sword totally fits on the on the hip, Hasbro was listening, and they designed it with little siege ports on the skirts, which I totally thought was a thing that could be possible. And sure enough, you can put your sword there, which is just excellent. I love it. Sword height. Where's my Bumblebee? Who fell over? No, that was you, Ironhide. Bumblebee, here you are. Okay, cool. Hey, Leo fell over. Here we go. Bumblebee. Bumblebee activates his size, and here we go. We're just going to give Bumblebee the sword. We're just going to let Bumblebee hold on to it. There we go. I think the handle for this sword is half the height of Bumblebee. No, I'd say it's a quarter the height of Bumblebee. There we go. Yeah. Oh my God, Bumblebee. It's just so goofy. It's lovely. It's so great. They would put the sword there. Yeah. He also comes with this awesome shield, and the shield here is clipped onto the arm bracer, which I thought was really cool. I'll go ahead and pull it off of its little clamp and pull this thing off of the side of the arm. I think it's really neat that they included little slots into it. So on the arms, there's 3 bumps. There's 3 rectangular trapezoid things, and there's so you have the flat side, and then there's 1 bump that doesn't have an indentation in it, and across from that's the bump with the indentation, and then between them, directly across from the flat side, is the bump that this thing actually clips onto, which is really cool. I thought it was really neat that this thing just clips on like that, and that was something that I just noticed, and I thought, is that possible? And it is. It's really fun. It's been neat playing with this thing. A lot of this stuff is explained in the instructions, but of course I never read instructions, so it's fun to just play around with it and learn. The shield here is pretty neat. It's kind of the mixture of a Gundam's shield, and it's even got like the little bits that feel like they would be that star symbol on the RX-78 Gundam. Like, this feels like a mixture of the Alex's shield, the RX-78 shield, and GPO-1 shield. It feels like all of those, and then merged a little bit with Transformers. But that's kind of the impression I'm getting. It's got some vents in here for heat dispersal. You actually add it to the roof of the V-Star, and make it it makes the V-Star feel more aerodynamic, that's for sure. On the underside of it, it just has siege ports for days. It's got 1, 2, 3, and then, let's see, where's the other ones? 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got 7 siege ports, and then these 2 little peg holes for those rectangular siege pegs. And then it came with this weird, we got this weird cagey thing that has the handle on it, that in my opening video I was like, what in the world is this thing supposed to be? Well, it turns out it's the handle for the shield, so we'll go ahead and put it back on the shield. And we'll just use the very middle port. There we go. All right. I do think it's really fun that you can store a lot of weapons and stuff on the back of the shield. I think it's really neat. And the shield is decently tall as well. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and we can plug the corner. You know what, Bumblebee? You can lose that gun. You're getting a big shield today. So we're just going to take your arm. I'm going to thread your arm through this giant hole in the side of the shield. It's so wonderful. Go on, Bumblebee. No, Bumblebee, you gotta grab it, Bumblebee. Bumblebee, work hard. His arm is too short. Okay, here we go. All right. We'll do it in reverse. So that goes like that. There we go. And now we'll fold it over your arm. There you are, Bumblebee. Now, if you could just, no. You gotta hold the shield in such a way that it's not causing you to tilt over sideways. There you go. Yeah. Now move it in front of you and scream this is Sparta. Yeah. There you are. You little giant tower shield that's taller than you. And the giant sword. What are you, like, a Final Fantasy character? Good grief. Move your little guy. Let me just set you off over there. All right. So that's those accessories, and then we've got the gun that came with Victory Leo, which I assume is Star-Saber's gun, because they keep saying that Star-Saber has a gun, but the packaging that Star-Saber came in didn't have a gun in it. But Leo had a gun. So this is Leo's gun, or Star-Saber's gun. I'm confused on that one. The gun's pretty cool. It's decently in length. It's got 2 female ports and 1 second. What? What? Apparently, Kream wanted to be part of the video. He was upset that I had locked him out. So, where was I? Yeah, the gun's not really much to talk about. It does have 2 female siege ports on. It's got a siege port on each side, which is pretty cool. Kream, what do you want? I let you in. Now, stay on your spot and don't knock Jetfire over, please. We'll talk about Jetfire later. Kream, no, Kream. Lord have mercy, Kream. What are you doing? There's no place for you to get. Yeah, it's cluttered. Why? No, Kream. You're just destroying everything. Go over there. No, Kream. Kream, I'm trying to do a video, man. Will you just chill? Go lay down. No, Kream, lay down over here. Let me move the Lego pad. That's upsetting. No. The Star-Saber doesn't need love from you. Don't bite my arm. Are you good? Okay. Alright, sorry about that. There was a cat interruption. And lay down. Here, I'm sliding it away. The Lego pad is off your sleeping area. Do you... Okay. He seems to be settling down now that I moved the Lego pad off of where he sleeps. And that was a lie, because there he goes again. Kream, you're incredibly distracting today. Yes, Kream. What do you want? Can I get back to my video? Thank you. Now you're just gonna scratch yourself next to me? Okay. Back to this. My bad, guys and gals. I wasn't expecting Kream to go full on adorable. Don't you do it, Kream. Just don't play with things. Don't play with things. Alright. So, where was I? I just finished talking about the gun. And we're moving into the rest of the robot. So that was a nice little intermission. Cat intermission. Catterition. Anyway. So, let's talk Star-Saber in his robot mode. Without any of the accessories. Let's start with siege ports. So he's got 1 on the bottom of each foot. Actually, he's got 3 on the bottom of each foot because he's got these little rockets. So that's 3. He has 1 on each side of his leg. So that's 6. And then 8. Then up here, nothing on his upper legs, but nothing on his thigh area. Then we come to his skirt where he's got 3. He's got 1 on the back of his skirt and then 1 on each side. So we've got 8, 9, 10, 11. He's got 11 so far before he even gets up here to the to his core section. On his back, we've got 2, 3 on his back. There's that bit in the middle where you can put the V-Lock cannon. So that's 3 on his back. That adds to the 11, making it 14. On either side of his head, we've got nothing. And then on his arms, we have 1 on the back of each of his shoulders. So that equals 16 now. And then 1 in each of his hands, making it 17 and 18. That's a lot. All right, this guy wins. I can't think of another figure that's got 18, except for maybe no, I'm not even sure if oh, I'm blanking on the name. Omega Supreme has that many or not. I think this guy may win. I'll have to look it up in my collection and find out if he's the winner or not. But I want to say he's the winner of Siege Boards. The Now let's talk on articulation, and then we'll move past that to other things. So he's got butterfly hinges, which we showcased at the beginning of this video. Epic butterflies on each side, excellent. He's got full 360 on his shoulders, but sadly, his shoulders at the rotation point don't move. Instead, the upper arm at the connection point for the bicep joint moves. It can move up, but not up as much as you would think. It's sadly, he does not have as much upward motion as I was hoping he would, but he's got pretty good upward motion nonetheless. He does have a ratcheted second elbow joint, so he does have double jointed elbows, which leads into having this big elbow. It's pretty massive. I wasn't expecting it to be that big, but it works for a giant robot. His lower arms have these crazy pauldrons, or these crazy bracers, and that are used in the robot mode. I mean, in vehicle mode, these connect on the sides. It's pretty cool. These things actually kind of get in the way a little bit in robot mode, but they do feel epic and they do feel Gundam-y. The hand, of course, can open and shut, and that's about it for it. It does have that port that goes in and out that people talk about Siege Jetfire's mold having. And the hand rotates and can move backwards and forwards, but not up and down. And sadly, the forearm does not rotate. That's the joints for the arms, and the head does move about 45 degrees, maybe 50 degrees in each direction. But due to the way that the Brainmaster works, it can't move any further without risk of breaking your Brainmaster, and you don't want to break your Brainmaster, man. Now let's move down here. He has butterfly joints. We talked about those. Boom, butterflies. And he has an ab crunch. We talked about that. The ab crunch is difficult. I will not lie to you about that one. This ab crunch is a bit difficult to get going, but it ab crunch. The side-to-side motion on the thighs is a hard ratchet, which I absolutely love. The forward and backward is a hard ratchet, which I absolutely love. It's a little louder than I thought it would be, but it's excellent. Even the knee is a ratchet joint, and then he's got nice thigh rotation on his legs, and of course he's got a toe tilt. He's got that ankle tilt going on there. May be difficult to actually engage it, but you can engage it. It's just a little sticky because it's new. But there is that going on there. It's just really annoying how... There it goes. It's just sticky, like I said. New stuff is really tight. Like that's something I'm noticing about this figure. He ain't got nothing loose. He's not a loosey-goosey guy. Now let's talk sculpt work, because that was all the articulation. I mean, oh yeah, there was a waist swivel I forgot to mention. So sculpt work, that's a lot of fun. This guy he's just so much fun with the sculpt work. Now he's got these big hollow feet, but these work because they fold up and stuff, and you would assume they're to be kind of hollow. And we've seen Gundams with hollowish feet like that. Especially in the series Turn a Gundam, you had some crazy hollow-feeted Gundam stuff in Turn a Gundam. But that's the feet. They feel very Gundam-like. I'll say that. Even to the point of having boosters in them. That is such a Gundam-like thing to do. Folding the wings on the sides is a Transformers thing to do, but these feet scream Gundam to me. You know, I've built enough Gunpla that I could just be like, yep, this totally is something I would build in a Gunpla set. You got some nice different steel little patterns on it of different layers of plastic. The sculpt work is very interesting and it's very unique. It's fun. It's fun to feel around on here. They they tried their best not to skimp out on anything. Now, there is something right here. It's a little rough and it looks a bit scratched maybe because I couldn't figure out how to get these darn skids out of there. These skids are really hard to pull out, so now I just have them half put out because I don't want to scratch the paint any more than I already have right there. And that's a negative. Like there's things like these skids which I would assume would be looser joints because you just fold it out and they'll lock in place, but having it really tight right there does make it difficult to pull out and not damage the paint. And for a person like me who doesn't really see, I didn't really figure out where you're supposed to put your fingernail to pull this out. So it took my roommate explaining it to me before I finally found those skids. Now, something I do want to point out before we get above these legs. Where did you go, Bumblebee? Is this you? No, that's not Bumblebee. That's Hound. We'll set Hound over here. Where did you go, Bumblebee? Okay, Bumblebee's here. Let's go ahead and grab this sword blade. Actually, we can grab the entire sword. Let's go ahead and pull it out of Bumblebee's hand. Set Bumblebee over here to the side. And this is fun. There's a sheath in the leg for the sword. And you can actually put the sword into there. But you got to actually pull it out of its hilt. And then you just got the sword blade. So when you have the hilt visible and you don't want the sword showing, so you feel up the side of the leg, and there's this long rectangular tab bit that sticks up a little further than everything else. And when you feel on the inside of that, you feel that there's a rectangular slot, and then there's another lip of plastic, and then a bigger rectangular slot where the thigh goes into. And it's right between the thigh area and the this plastic tooth that sticks out. It's this rectangular slot right in the middle of those two, and the sword just fits into it perfectly. And nothing holds it in. It's just gravity holding it in place. But it's excellent. I love it. And I haven't tried this yet, but definitely we're going to look at it during our Blindformers episode and see if this sword can just stay in there when we transform, and connect everything together for the V-Star jet. And hopefully that sword will stay in there, and that will be a place where we can actually keep the sword during transformation. And if you want to display the V-Star without putting the sword in the nose of the plane. There's the nose right there. So coming up from there, we've got the thighs here, and the thighs are excellently detailed. This is great. I mentioned in a couple of videos ago how I was getting tired of them never spending any time sculpting these thighs because you can sculpt them and they look really nice. All you have to do is spend a little time on them, and they did. They didn't even do much. They gave them these lines, the big line on the front, the big line on the back, and then the little panel that sticks out on the side, and another little panel, a little cut in it like it's got a divot. That's it. It wasn't much, but it was enough. It made it feel more. Now we come over here to the side skirt that's got the siege port, and go ahead and showcase that with this. Since I got the blade off, we can go ahead and put that right there. I do love it. I think that is so much fun that you can just put this sword right on his hip like he is some samurai warrior. I think that's neat. Now, coming up to the front, we've got the skirts that feel very, this is another instance where I'm feeling the Gundam, like the side skirt, feeling the Gundam, especially since there's a utility port in the side skirt. Gundams always had some sort of grenade or something in their utility pocket on their side skirts. Like, you watch the show long enough, you'll see a Gundam reach over and reach into that side area and pull some explosive out. Or in the sense of when the RX-78 fell from the space to the Earth, I think it pulled that thermal layer out of its little side pocket. But it's fun that there is a utility port in the side skirts to kind of give reference to that. The Hound needs to move away because I keep knocking him. The front of the skirts here, they are what's most pronounced to be Gundam, in my opinion. I like I said, if built enough Gunpla, I can feel when something's Gundam, and that's what this is. Even so far as to having that little slot at the bottom to to give it some little jets. Like the Gundam artist was all about that full vernia action. Making sure there was kind of jets everywhere. Now that feels like that here. It does, even if they're not really jet like. It does feel like it was the attempt. The center area here with the crotch area, that is, all it's missing is like a plus sign made of gold right here at the top to be completely Gundam. This is neat. It's now something that I need to mention again is that I've never seen Star-Saber. I never watched Transformers Victory. I never saw any images of it. I just missed out on it. I didn't really focus on it too much. I was too busy focused on the semi trucks and the cars, and I didn't go beyond that. And that was my B. Uh, Now I finally get a chance to feel what this guy is, and I think that is part of the amazing thing about this is brand new to me. I have nothing up here in my head from when I had vision, no type of visual connection to this. So in a way, for me at least, it can't be wrong. All it can be is either good or bad. But when it comes to does it hold up to what the figure looks like? No, I can't tell you that for sure because I don't know what the figure looks like, right? At least from the cartoon, I have no idea. I'm really hoping that it looks a lot like this one. Now we're gonna come up here to the chest area when we're still doing the sculpt work. We've got a big hunkin' chest. It's a really heavy armor. There's some vent activity, but there's not really much going on with that chest. It's pretty bland, but that's because it's kind of the legs of Saber. And then we come up here to the top of it where you got his helmet. His helmet's awesome. He's got a big, leader of the Autobots faceplate. All leaders of the Autobots need a big faceplate that covers most of their face and some deep set eyes in there. Big negative up here is that one of these antennas is super tight. It can flip. By the way, the antennas flip side to side and move up and down. They remind me of the Giraffa from Expeditionary Force. If you read that, those little beetles, they do a lot with their antennas, and that's what this feels like. But my negative here is that this antenna on the right is really, really loose, and it flops around a lot. That is literally the floppiest thing on this antenna. Its side is okay though. You can actually pose it in all sorts of different directions. I think that's fun. I like the fact that these antennas are posable, and not only up and down posable, but sideways posable as well. That was neat, which is why I think of it as a giraffe antenna. Now, the sculpt work for these arms is pretty cool. Though to finish up with the head, we do have these long antennas that are, with all the V stuff going on, I assume the antennas would be coming from, when people talk Gundam, I would assume they'd be coming from right above where the middle of the eyes are on this helmet, and go straight up and out like a big V. But instead, he's got an antenna on each side. I mean, he could pull them out a bit to be like V's, but no V antenna, no Gundam-like antenna. This head is the least Gundam about this entire thing, honestly. Now we come over here to the side, and from this side we get this upper arm of the robot mode where we got a gun that's on the back that folds down, but it doesn't really do much. Like, I'll turn it around. See, on the backpack, he's got a very clean backpack with this guy. It's just his, V-Star jet folded up where all the siege ports are. It's pretty nice. I do appreciate how clean this backpack is, at least in the Star-Saber mode. And then these little guns can fold down. Sadly, you can't spin this bit around so it goes forwards, but then again, I was just like, well, at least he has guns that fire behind him. Sneak up on this guy. He dares you. On the side of these upper arms, we got some cool vent activity going on. We got these nice little sci-fi spaceship angles happening. And we talked about the forearm, the crazy elbow thing going on there. And for some reason, that's just not working right. Hey, what's going on here? No. You gotta be there. Thank you. Jeez. Isn't like I'm showing you off or anything. You could treat me well. Crazy thing. Yeah, but there we go. And we've already talked about the forearms and their crazy stuff earlier, and the hands. Yeah, that's about it. So out of robot mode for this guy, I think I'm going to give it. It's getting a 9.5 out of 10. It seriously, and it may be a little biased because I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for this thing for over a year. But with the cool little gimmicks it has, with the fact that it stores stuff, it's getting a 9.5 out of 5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 5. That's crazy expectations. No, 9.5 out of 10. This is an excellent robot mode. It's got everything that I expected in a robot mode. It's just got some weird little quirks about it that I'm not really 100% on. No, hence the point 0.5 instead of a 10 out of 10. Like just little weird things. But it's going to have its quirks, and I'm going to learn to love them. Thank you for watching, and please tune in next Prime, where we're going to cover the Saber mode for this guy, because I don't want to make all these videos incredibly long. So I'm trying my best to cut all this down. It's going to be an incredibly long video if you add them all together, but we're going to cover Saber tomorrow and talk about him, and then we're going to do the Blindformers episode where we'll transform Saber into his jet mode, and we'll transform the Star into its V-Star mode, its little starship mode. So yeah, that's going to be happening this week, and thank you for watching. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.